Hey beauties, welcome back. So today's video is a full face tutorial of my Sephora sale recommendations. So Sephora usually has a sale about twice a year, sometimes 3. They surprise us once in a while. Within the sale, you can get up to 20% off when you buy anything in Sephora. So I put together all the products that I've been loving and products that I would highly recommend for you guys to get during the sale. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Alright, so first up, I went ahead and did my eyebrows because it's usually the same routine. So if you haven't tried the Anastasia brow pen, you definitely have to try it. So it's a felt tip eyebrow pen, so it makes your eyebrows super natural. It's very easy to draw out like natural strokes on your eyebrows. You definitely want to get a shade that is closer towards the color of your natural hairs. So the shade that I usually use is dark brown because I have dark brown hairs. But if you're not somebody who likes eyebrow pens but you prefer eyebrow pomades, then one of my favorites is the Anastasia eyebrow pomades. I've been using this for years and years. And the shade that I usually use is Ebony. So this one works also great if you have very scarce eyebrows and an eyebrow pen would not work for your hairs. So today we are starting out with eyeshadow. Typically I do my skin first, but we're gonna get into eyeshadow. So if you've been eyeing the Huda Beauty Empowered eyeshadow palette like I have, you definitely need to get your hands on it because this palette is honestly really pigmented. So it has 18 shadows and they're all different shadows. So you have golds, you have coppers and neutrals, and they also have different textures. So you have matte, metallics, and shimmer. All around, I really love this palette. It really has so many vibrant eyeshadow shades and it has neutral eyeshadow shades, so you can definitely change up the occasion with this palette. So this is what I'm going to be using for today's makeup look. So the first shade that I'm going to pick up is the shade Legacy. And I like to use this type of shade to warm up my crease. And the reason why I really love this palette is because the shades are very, very blendable and very much buildable. So they give me enough pigment on the skin so they show up. So the eyeshadows give me enough pigment. I don't have to struggle to apply the shades. As you can see, like I've picked up a very small amount, but it's super rich and pigmented. And with this eyeshadow palette, even if you picked up too much product, you can go in with a clean brush and just blend it out. Like I mentioned, it's very blendable, so you can definitely get that pigment off if you've applied too much. Alright, literally the next shadow that's calling my name is this shade called Charisma. So this is like a foily type of gold eyeshadow shade that I absolutely love on this palette. This is one of those shades that you don't find in your everyday palette, and it's just really rich and pigmented, very, very soft as well. So it feels kind of like a creamy texture. And this is the reason why I am applying my eyeshadow first, because with this type of eyeshadow shade, you can get a lot of fallout. So you definitely want to do your eyeshadow before your makeup look so that the eyeshadow does not fall on your skin after you've done your makeup. So I'm focusing this shade mainly at the center of my eyelids, and as you can see, the eyeshadow is so pigmented that you get quite a bit of fallout. I like just picking up that product and then using a setting spray. I like to spray my brush, then applying it, and you get a little bit of fallout but not too much. Alright, next shade I'm going in is this shade called Confident, which is like a deep burgundy shade, and I'm gonna focus that on the inner corner and outer corner of my eye. Alright, so we've pretty much completed the eyes. Now, as far as eyeliner, I don't really have a Sephora recommendation for eyeliner because I feel like any type of good drugstore eyeliner would work. So I just went ahead and used this NYX Professional Makeup Epic Ink pen. The next, we're going to move on to the skin. And a moisturizer that I would highly recommend if you've never tried it out is the Laneige UV Defense Sunscreen Moisturizer. And I like to apply a good amount of SPF. I absolutely love this because it's just really moisturizing. So this is perfect for all skin types and it doesn't leave a white cast. And if you're gonna wear makeup, whether the sun is out or not, whether it's summer or whether it's winter, you definitely wanna get a good SPF to wear all throughout the year. So this one has been a go-to for me, so I would highly recommend this. So like I mentioned, this SPF is great for all skin types. So whether you have dry, combination, or oily skin, you can definitely use this. And it definitely doesn't clog my pores and it's not too oily on my skin. As you can see, it literally leaves my skin super glowy and just really healthy. and you can definitely use this without makeup, and it works really great with makeup. And for primer, if you haven't tried the Milk Pore Eclipse Mattifying Primer, I would highly recommend trying this one out. I love this because I realized that it doesn't really clog my pores, because sometimes when I use matte primers, they tend to clog my pores and feel very suffocating. So I like this one because I just focus it mainly on the areas that I get oily and my pores are, which is right here, and it literally gets the job done. It doesn't dry out my skin. It's actually very hydrating, but it literally helps to instantly mattify my skin, which I absolutely love on days when I'm going for a matte makeup look. So I just focus it on my T-zone area, but if you have oily skin, then you definitely want to apply it all over your skin. With this primer, I would also say it's great for all skin types because I have dry skin and I still use it and it feels hydrating on my skin. Alright, so next is foundation, and a foundation that I've been actually loving for months now is the Bobbi Brown Skin Longwear Weightless Foundation. This foundation gives my skin a very natural finish. It's a medium coverage foundation, but I really like it because it has a little bit of SPF, so it's good to protect your skin from the sun. But most importantly, it is an oil-free foundation. You guys know oil-free foundations are what I go for more, because on my skin I don't need to set them because they don't have any oils. Of course, if you have oily skin, you want to set the foundation, but I love it because it settles so nicely on the skin. Even if you have oily skin, it's perfect. So the foundation also contains glycerin, which is very hydrating, which I love. So just because it's oil free does not mean it's gonna dry out your skin. It also has hydrating properties. So one thing I like to do is just build this foundation up. Like I mentioned, it is a medium coverage foundation, but if you want it to be a full coverage, you can apply 2 layers of this foundation and it's definitely going to give you full coverage. All right, next up we have concealer. So concealer, I've been absolutely loving this Kosas Revealer Super Creamy Brightening Concealer. So this is a very light coverage concealer. It's technically supposed to be like an eye cream, but it's very hydrating under the eyes. Now with concealer, I usually like selecting lightweight hydrating concealers because those tend to crease less. So this one is it. It has a light formula, it is a medium coverage concealer, and it has a radiant finish, so it's not drying. It's also a good concealer to spot correct on your skin if you have like acne or blemishes. It helps to balance and cover those up. So the concealer is really easy to blend because it is a lightweight concealer and it's very hydrating. So even if your under eyes are really dry, this is a really good concealer to use because it's not going to appear patchy and it's not going to crease as much as like a thick concealer would. So as you can see, the concealer gives me that perfect coverage under my eyes. So it covers up the dark circles. It helps to brighten up your under eyes. So it gets the job done. At the same time, it's like a very great skincare concealer. At the same time, it's very hydrating. So I like to place a little bit on my forehead as well, down the bridge of my nose and on my chin. Alright, next for contour, I'd recommend trying out the Merit Bronze Balm Sheer Sculpting Bronzer. So this is supposed to be like a cream bronzer stick, but you can also use it as a contour because it has this cool type of color, but then a little bit golden as well. So it's also great for warm undertones. But I really like this specific contour because it's very natural. So if you're somebody who's looking for a natural type of contour without having to use concealer, I would recommend trying this one out. It glides on very smoothly on your skin. It's super blendable. It has like a very silky texture. And the shade that I usually use is Monarch, which is great for deeper skin tones. And it really shows up on my skin perfectly, but very lightly, like not too much. As you can see, the contour is very natural, very sheer, and it's really easy to blend on the skin. So like I mentioned, it's perfect for somebody who's looking for a really natural contour. They don't want to put like too much and it look too sharp and be hard to blend, because some concealers tend to dry up on your skin and they tend to be very pigmented. So this is a perfect contour if you're looking to softly sculpt your skin. Alright, so next up I'm going to apply a blush, and I've been really into cream blushes. I feel like they're easier to apply and they just blend seamlessly on your skin. So one that I love is the Fenty Double Cheeked Up Freestyle Cream Blush Duo. Now with the blush, I like to pick it up directly with the applicator, so I like to use a dense brush just because it's a cream blush. So if you want to add more, you can go in with more, and it has a really nice satin finish, so it doesn't look oily and it doesn't look too dry. It kind of gives like that in the middle type of vibe. And I just like to apply it on my cheekbones area, of course bring it around the apples of my cheeks. It has this really nice pink color, so it's kind of like in the middle type of thing. So I think it'll be perfect if you mix the two shades together if you have a warm undertone. But if you have a cool undertone, then the light pink shade would work perfectly for your skin. Then for setting powder, if you haven't tried the Say Air Set Radiant Loose Setting Powder, then you definitely need to try it out because it's great for all skin types, and it's a translucent setting powder, but it's very, very weightless. I love this one specifically because it really helps to smoothen your under eyes. It's very similar to a finishing powder, and it's not drying under the eyes. It's actually very hydrating. So it has a radiant finish, but when you apply it on your skin, you don't really see that radiance, you don't see that glow. But when you swatch it out on your hand, you'll be able to see it, but once it sets that concealer, you don't really see that radiance. I really like the setting powder because it makes my skin feel super smooth. So because it's very, very fine, it literally smoothens out your skin, giving it kind of like a filtered look. As you guys can see, my forehead looks super smooth, and also it sets the skin perfectly. So if you're looking for a good lip liner, I would recommend you to try the Kind Words Matte Lip Liner by Rare Beauty. The shade that I use is Strong. I love this lip liner because it's long lasting and the shade is perfect for my lips. Then for lipstick, I recently got the Charlotte Tilbury Iconic Matte Revolution Lip Trio Set. So I got the mini because I obviously wanted to try it out. Charlotte Tilbury lipsticks are usually very expensive, so I want to try these shades out first before purchasing the full one. I've been seeing these lipsticks everywhere. I heard they're like amazing. This is actually my first time trying them out, and the shade that I'm using is Supermodel. I actually really like the lipstick. It's very creamy and it applies perfectly on my lips. It definitely doesn't dry out my lips. I feel like they're very moisturizing, but I always like to top up my matte liquid lipsticks with a lip oil, so I'm using this Iconic London lip oil on top of this, and this is a really nice lip oil to top on top of like any type of matte lipstick because it doesn't move the lipstick, but it makes it very nice and glossy. So that is it for this Sephora recommendations video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. All the products will be linked in the description box down below. And also watch my next video over here. So this is an affordable fall makeup look if you haven't already watched it. But other than that, I will see you guys in my next video.
KLJ, welcome to a channel where it's poppin'.